All right, we've talked about many times before that having a savings plan in place for retirement is vital. And as that period in your life gets closer, there are important steps to get you ready. Here to help us check off some of those boxes, I have Cory Sickles, president of Safe Harbor Retirement Group here. Hi, Cory.
Hi, Robin.
All right, what is one of the concerns, first and foremost, because we kind of like to start right with the most important thing. What is one thing you want to make sure you get covered as you're heading towards retirement?
Healthcare is probably one of the biggest ones, right?
Okay.
And I'm not going to say it's not simple to go through the Medicare process if you're 65, but it's a lot easier because you know which healthcare plan you're going to be able to go on to.
Okay.
However, but you know, if you're trying to retire before 65, then that's where it kind of can get a little bit more complicated. Maybe is your spouse still working? Can you stay on their plan? Or are you going to maybe have to go out onto the healthcare marketplace plan, or are you going to stay on COBRA? So a lot of times that's definitely a discussion that we have with clients when they're finalizing for retirement or planning for when the day they do want to retire, because healthcare is a big issue.
Yeah, and it's a big expense.
It is a big expense.
The cost can be huge. What about other costs? How can that impact, I should say, a person's financial, situation in retirement?
Well, so now we're really talking about what's your monthly budget going to be, right? And normally what I would probably say is once someone does retire, you're going to probably need about 70 to 80% of what you were earning while you were working in retirement. So, as we kind of go through those last stages and finalize your budget, that's at the end of the day, that's really what you're looking at. So you're not going to eliminate a whole lot of cost, right? Gas,
right, yeah.
Maybe lunches, there's maybe clothes, but it's not a whole lot of cost that you're going to eliminate when you do actually retire.
And it's often like anybody will find out, right? Like I know, oh, my kids are out of daycare, I'm going to have all this extra money. No, it finds its way into something else.
It does.
So
it does. Travel.
Exactly. And so the other thing, Cory, I know that understanding your expected cost is important, but your expected income is also a big part of this, right? So you have to look at every source that you're going to have.
That's exactly right. Income planning is probably the biggest part, because you're going to have your monthly expenses. You're going to have to be able to make sure that you have income coming in to pay those expenses, right? So, Social Security, it could be a pension, but the majority of it's going to come from what's your retirement nest egg look like.
Right.
And that's why I think it's so vital to work with an advisor, because that's the hardest part. To make sure that you're in a situation that you're not going to run out of money later on in life, because that's a big concern for a lot of people. And at the end of the day, it's income. Everyone, you can't spend if you don't have it.
Right.
So it's probably the biggest component that you really have to work on.
Well, and you say you can't spend if you don't have it, but debt is real too, right? And so you probably work with a lot of folks on trying to reduce that before they get there.
That's exactly right. If you can eliminate debt, mortgage payments, car payments, any other, a lot of them have student loans now. So if you can eliminate all those debts going into retirement, that's less monthly payments that you're going to have to pay, on an ongoing basis, and you're going to be in a better situation.
Are you also going to look at the way and the means by which people are investing prior to that? Do we have to change course when it comes to investments?
Yes, I think you will. But as you get near to retirement and as you are in retirement, odds are you're going to become more conservative. The days of you trying to earn 20, 30% in your 401k or your IRA are probably going to be gone, because now you're more worried about making sure you have money 10, 15 years from now, because you're not adding to that on a monthly basis. So odds are you're going to be more conservative, and that's why we do a risk analysis with every client every year, just to make sure we have you allocated based upon what that risk level is.
Cory, I know that it's never too early to begin saving and figuring out your retirement plan, but how far in advance is it really smart to have kind of those more, inline conversations about all that you talked about?
I think 5 years is a good time frame. If you're going to try to retire in 5 years, I think it's a great time to, if you don't have an advisor, to try to seek one out.
Yeah.
We're going to be able to, now you're in that final stage. You've saved all this money, but what's it mean to me? And I think an advisor can show you what you're going to be able to, what we can do for you over those next 5 years to make sure that you're going to have the retirement that you want.
Right. Or maybe tell you might be working 7 instead of 5. That probably comes too. All right, Cory, I know people can meet with you for a complimentary meeting. How do they set that up?
Yep, you can just give us a call at 614-760-0670 or visit our website at safeharboroh.com. And all meetings are complimentary with no financial obligation.
All right, perfect. All the information up on there. Cory, thank you.
Thank you, Robin.